Dude, you're like so many things. You teach, you're a writer, you're a musician, you like academia, बच्चों को भी पढ़ा सकती है. What
My
is this like? The whole package.
I think my nature has just been very like, जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं सुशील, like, you know.
सुशील कन्या है ये.
Yeah, sushi. No, actually, like it's not like right now if I sing like this is like technical, but if I sing, for example, Raag Bhairav or Raag Yaman,
Yeah.
Raag Yaman is sung during the evening hours, Raag Bhairav is sung during the morning hours because they both do something to your body.
Yeah. Is art meditative to you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It has to be. And then 10 years later, I published it. I come from a family of like academics. Like both my parents are PhDs. My sister's doing her second master's. Like we're very like in the
पढ़ाकू लोग.
I have that padhaku gene. And I published my book and I was just like, Shivani, you did it.
वो कहते हैं ना कि गाते हैं but फितूर संगीत है. So it's more like I like to create.
It's nice. And I'm not saying no to a Grammy. Someone wants to give me a Grammy, give me a Grammy.
Give her a Grammy.
Give me a Grammy. My whole artistic practice is just a conversation from Shivani in time to Shivani in time.
Are you emotional?
So, oh God, I just have to touch you somewhere where I know. That sounds funny. I just have to make you feel something. Do I sound calm?
Yeah.
I sound calm?
Yeah.
I think I sound so excited and jumpy.
Alright guys, my name is Epic Sensation and you're watching Epic from the Scratch. Alright guys, so we have Shivani Sen.
Shivani Sen.
Yay. Do you remember when we met for the first time?
I remember. It was, I think, about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, at an open mic.
Yeah.
And I don't think we spoke before we actually saw each other on stage, and we only saw each other on stage. And
After
I was
we
like,
performed.
Exactly. And I was there with my friends, and I was like, who is this guy who is rapping proper, like in Hindi, in central London? And everyone's going crazy, like people who know the language and people who don't know the language, and everyone's like, oh my God, like they're all vibing. And I was like, I have to say hi to him. And then we chatted, and then now we're here.
By the way, to every single one of you, Shivani is from India. बता दो अपने बारे में.
I am from India. I'm from New Delhi. I grew up there all my life. I moved to London 3 years ago to do policy and economics, which I love actually.
The way she roll her eyes.
It's just such a distant life. But yeah, no, I love it. That's like another side to me. But now I've always done music. I've done music since I was 4 and I've trained in it. And I've recently put out like my book and my track, and I'm just making more music.
So in short, बहुत easy way में इन्होंने ये बता दिया कि भाई मैं writer भी हूँ. She has a book out, link in bio. She has music out, link in bio. She's been in radios. She's performing live and stuff. So in my opinion, big shot. I'm doing a lot of stuff.
Big shot is a big word. You know, like especially in these days, like big shots are like big shots. Like, you know, and then you're always kind of just like, there's so much more to go to be big shot.
No, but honestly, there are not a lot of people those who are doing these two things, because writing is another sort of art which you need to have a perspective for that. And then music is all different stuff.
Yeah. So that's true, I think. But they're both the same. Like music is also writing. You first have to write, at least the music I do. Like you have to write it and then sing it. But like the main music I do, like Indian classical, is actually not writing. It's just like melodies and alaps and akars and just actually feeling,
flowing with the
music. Yeah.
So if we already opened this Pandora box, let's talk about writing first. How did you start it? Because I remember when we talked for the first time, you mentioned that you are into poetry. You write poetry and stuff.
Yeah.
So talk about that, how that started.
I started writing when I was, 13, 14. And I used to go on my terrace in New Delhi in my house, like to just like get away from like Delhi as a city, which is like noisy and busy and everything, to just like have like 10, 15 minutes of calm in the evenings during sunset, because sunset was like the time where like the sky is changing, night is coming, day is going, like transition. And I would just like exist and feel things. And then I would always take up like a little notebook with me and like a pen and just like write whatever came. Like, no, I have to write poetry, or no, like this needs to be pretty, because I genuinely was not writing for anyone. I never showed anyone that diary. And then 10 years later, I published it. But which now you can find on Amazon, link in
Yeah.
bio. But I actually wasn't writing for anyone.
Mm.
And I just randomly wrote because I felt feelings, because I just like felt so much.
Mm.
And then I kept writing over the years, and then life changed. I grew up, I changed cities, I changed countries, but I still just kept writing to process life, understand life, and just be more in touch with myself. Like, there's one thing that I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
ye conversation ho rahi hai, it's nice, but then how did I feel about it, or how did like Shivani actually process life or the day? And that's when like you have to like spend some time with yourself, and pen to paper, and let yourself just feel what you're feeling. That's how I started writing. And I still write for the same reason, but now I land up writing for an audience, which I don't mind. But like my songs I know are for an audience, or my
Yeah.
book is for an audience, which is a bit different, but I still love writing though.
बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है बोली that you go to the terrace and you just feel like that you want to share your feelings, that you exist, then you know.
Yeah.
So वो चीज क्यों आया? Like is it like you were in a position, or you were in that mindset where you were like, okay, मैं normally communicate कर रहे हो friend से या family से, it is not working out,
Yeah.
so maybe I need to write
Yeah.
something in a way जो अलग expression हो?
Yeah.
Was it like that?
That's a good question. ऐसा नहीं था that I'm communicating with someone and it's not working out. In fact, I love communication. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है to communicate, which is why podcast. Like, I love speaking. I love like experiencing like other people, what they're saying and stuff. But I feel like this is like for anyone who wants to read my book, although this is not like a plug or anything.
No,
But
you should plug
but,
it.
it can be a plug. But the first few pages which tell the reader how to read my book to understand who you're actually reading about, I wrote that inside all of us there is a space that exists that no one is watching, and you're just completely you.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to be in touch with that. It's not like, even if I'm a great communicator, I still have to be Shivani. Like, there has to be a slice of you that no one knows. And you just, that's why we have rooms, that's why we have personal rooms. Like, I can be outside all day and night, but I need to come back home.
Your own privacy.
Yeah, your own home. So I think inside everyone there's that little home or that little space, and you have to stay connected to it to actually be, just be in the world. Like, be real, be yourself. Like, not like, oh my god, be authentic, that kind. Like, actually just be a person. And it's so important. So I think my communication was, nothing was ever wrong with that. I just needed a second to be Shivani in like the whole world, and I could do that by writing. So that's how it came about.
It's interesting because you see nowadays, just it's like a social media world. Everyone is like looking at someone else's life.
Yeah.
And perspective is not, the energy is not towards this side. Energy is always towards outside.
Outward. Yeah.
You know, and they are just like, okay, that guy's having that much money, or that car, that job, that place, he's going traveling that place. So it's just like people are idolizing someone else's life rather than seeing, okay, what you want.
100%.
So it's actually very good. So should I assume your book is something like a self journal which you wrote, but then you edit it in so that you can put it out commercially?
That is exactly what it is. Yes.
Do you suggest people with because nowadays mental health and these all problems are quite huge. So do you suggest people to do something like that?
If it works for you, do it. Not everyone should just start writing a book or writing poetry if they don't like it.
No, it's just like, just express.
Yeah, just express. 100%. I feel like there's all ways to express. You don't have to like write. You can, if you don't want to make song, you dance. If you don't want to dance, you just like I don't know, go play like football or basketball, or you like cook a nice meal, or you wear a really nice outfit, just like something that connects you to who you are. Is or sometimes for some people it's just sitting and thinking and just being with your thoughts. Like, it's so easy to just like mindlessly pick up your phone. Like, I don't even know, sometimes I'm 10 minutes into like scrolling on Instagram. I'm like, when did I pick up my phone? Like, I was just looking out my window and my haath mein phone hai. So it's crazy like that. So I would definitely recommend just time with yourself, whatever that looks like. Like, I wasn't going to the terrace thinking, okay, I'll write something that'll be a book one day. Just wanted time with Shivani, and I think that's so important.
It just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice. So how there was a transition between writing and music, And do one thing, give a small introduction about your music career, how that started and stuff.
My music career started literally when I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been training with gurus in India since I was 4,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never stopped training. And I'm 20. I'm old. I'm 26.
Yeah.
But I've just been training for like 22 years now, which
Yeah.
is crazy. So in a way, like the career, because I perform Hindustani classical across London now,
Yeah.
started when I was 4. But I always did it as like a meditative spiritual thing, because that's how it's taught in
Yeah.
India by gurus, like very sort of gurukul kind of
Exactly.
lifestyle, where you go to the guru's house and you're learning to
You do a
feel
prayer and
exactly,
stuff.
like feel spirit, feel soul. And then but somewhere I always kind of feel that I want to like connect with people through music and actually put music out. So I remember in class 2 I told my teacher, ma'am, I'm going to be a singer one day. And she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
But like I was like, nah, like I'm actually going to be a singer. And then in school I did a lot of Western vocal and piano, and I trained in like keyboard, I trained in piano, and I play a bunch of Indian instruments. And I was like, how do I put these two worlds together, because they're both me.
Yeah.
And I want to make music that like blends these two. And that's when like the music journey started properly in London, because here it's endless. Like you can put out anything, be anything, feel anything, and just like you have that freedom. So I took all the years of training of Hindustani classical and Western vocal and keyboard and just blended it all together into my first song that I put out last year. So technically the career started last year, because I started releasing as an artist.
Yeah.
And I'm trying like going to release again. But it started when I was small.
Nice. Hindustani classical, you mentioned you've been doing it since you were 4. How important it is from people from India, because majority of them are watching right now. So how important is to learn, because nowadays there's a culture that people, they just YouTube it,
Yeah.
learn it by
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
But if we are actually talking about a genre which is Hindustani classical, which is like a proper like classical
Yes.
Indian classical
Yeah,
music,
yeah.
it's important to learn. That's my
Learn from the right
important.
person. Yeah.
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 What
Exactly.
do you suggest, or like how that works?
I feel like these days it's not wrong to learn from YouTube, because not everyone can access a guru. Like it makes, if I grew up here and I didn't have access to India, I would maybe go to YouTube or
Yeah.
like different places here. But it's just so important to learn like the correct thing.
Yeah.
I feel that way about, this is like side like segue. I feel that way about yoga. Like here there's like endless, like no offense to anyone, there's like so many like ways to like do yoga and learn yoga and stuff, and all these names given to
Yeah.
yoga. But like no one's really ever, if you ask the average person, they don't even know what yoga means. Yoga is
Yeah.
like yoga, which is union, like,
Yeah.
and it's an actual science of like
Yeah.
understanding body with the time of day, with like
Yeah.
the science of everything. Just learn something correctly can actually change your life when you
Yeah.
perform or practice it.
Yeah.
Same with music. Like if you think you want to learn and you want to take it seriously, 100% like find someone who can take you all the way. Because now when I perform, it's not like, oh, I did that one YouTube video for 20 minutes and I have to perform that again and again. I've like had the training to build the foundation, so now I can sing anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to actually invest time for yourself and go to the right person. And Hindustani classical is amazing, so I would recommend.
Yeah. So who actually inspired you, or like who pushed you towards this, or you were since childhood you were like, okay,
Yeah.
singing?
No, at 4 years old, you're not really inspired. You're a
Yeah.
baby. Like you're just much of khana khana yaar. But you just want to go to the park. But so my parents put me in like the class, because bachpan se they thought ki use shruti ka gyan hai. Like I understand notes and I understand swar. So they were like, let's build this in her, because she has that
Were they into
ability.
music?
They're into music, but they never like trained or anything. Like they love music. Like my dad has books and books on piano. Like he's a musician at heart, and they can both sing well, but they were never trained. But that's how I think I got the gene to be able to at least sing. No, shout out to my
Shout out
parents.
to your pop's mom.
Truly, no, actually, and for putting me in music class, because I used to hate it. I was like, मुझे नहीं जाना, I don't want to go. क्यों मैं जाऊँ? क्या मैं गाना सीखूं?
Why?
At 4, you don't know, but at 26, like I am so thankful, like endlessly thankful to them for actually making me stick. Because as a kid, you want to leave things as well, like your attention's like you want the next fun thing. But that has taught me so much discipline. Like एक जगह पे बैठ के सीखो, समझो, don't move, don't get distracted, just be in what you're doing. And when you're involving your body with something, like singing is about the body and the mind, like it's just so transformative. It's like meditation, like actually proper meditation. So I think doing that since I was 4 and growing up has obviously changed my personality or shaped my personality, like my outlook, who I am as a person. But yeah, no, I didn't have any inspiration. It was my parents who basically put me in it and
Yeah.
told me stick to it. Yeah.
You spoke about this energy thing, like you need to, when you do any kind of music, you need to have that kind of discipline, that energy comes in you. What's your opinion in terms of, let's say, कुछ लोग जैसे classical music सीख रहे हैं, that how much discipline you learn from that, and then the modern music, because there's a huge difference between them. Because nowadays what happens is YouTube se koi bhi seekh raha hai.
Yeah.
People nowadays, it's sort of like singing is more like they are rapping but in a melodic way.
Yeah.
So there is no such how can I say, basics involved.
Yeah.
So what do you think, what's your opinion about the discipline in both the space?
Yeah, I feel like I can't fully say, because maybe like I've only trained in Indian my whole life, but I don't know what, like how much discipline or dedication people are putting in like modern music. Like
Yeah.
behind the scenes, behind closed doors, someone must be practicing for hours. I have no
Yeah.
idea. As long as you're doing that. But I was on a radio show last November when somebody asked me a very similar question, like what was like the journey in terms of dedication. And I switched gurus about 8 years ago now, or 9 years ago. And usually when you switch gurus, you're able to pick up where you left off. And before that I had 15 years of training. So I went to this new guru saying, I've trained for 15 years, mujhe sab aata hai, I know everything more or less, like I did all the exams and everything, I got distinction, whatever. And then I went to her and I said, teach me what's next, like teach me something new. And she was like, nah, like sit down and we're going to start from sa, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. Sa is the basic foundation of all Hindustani classical music. And surely if you go, it's like someone telling you learn ABCD again when you're in like the 10th grade, and someone's like, no, write ABCD again. I was like, what? But it's like I had to renew that sense of dedication or like discipline and drive or resolve for music. And for 6 months, I went to her house twice a week, 2 hours, even more sometimes, only sang sa and came back. Like only sang sa, one note, 2 hours. And like, why am I going to someone's house to sing a note? I can sing in my house. Like, what's going on? Like, that's what I was thinking. But in a way, she was testing my resolve. Like, how disciplined is she to actually sit with Hindustani? Not like, teach me one song, I want to go and perform that. Because these days it's also like consumer culture. You want to produce for someone else to consume, and that's how you make music, like quick. And she was just like, nahi, tum baith ke just do sa. So that I was like, I have invested my whole life, my 6 months of my life, my body, my time in one note sa. But like that changed everything. Like that just made all the difference.
It like changes your wise, don't you think? Just like make you more. और मेरे हिसाब से ऐसा भी होता है कि you feel like that person who's putting so much effort, and doesn't matter तुमको annoying लगा उस समय, but you somewhere back in your head you might be like, okay, कोई reason होगा, that's why she's doing that.
100%. You have to have blind faith. I'm not going to pay someone money to teach me one note unless they know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And with her I knew, like even now I learn from her. I have Zoom classes with her every Sunday. I had one like yesterday, and I'm still learning something new, and she's teaching me the basics of music. Not like learn this song, it's like learn this foundation, like learn ABC so well, and then write your books, write your stories, tell your life. Like someone's not teaching me how to write one essay, they're teaching me how to build words in a way that I can write anything I want, which is much better in terms of investment and time.
It's a very good advice, like you should work on your basics rather than कि
100%.
कोई इंसान बोले कि okay, I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar, तुम जा रहे हो और तुमको सबसे पहले ही वो सिखा रहे हैं कि तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सना
Exactly. A lot of people, I take lessons in London, and a lot of people sometimes get a little thrown off. Oh, we've just done one note the whole class. Like for them, even one class doing one note for 2 hours is like, that's kind of like a waste of time, which I appreciate. That's the modern and sort of traditional difference. Like people want quick this thing, but I feel like never let go of the basics. Like basics are so underrated. Basics are what make the not basics. Like you have to keep going back to them again and again and again. Like agar main ABC bhul jao, like I'm writing gibberish. Like no one's understanding what I'm writing. Like basics are so important.
let's talk about the move. क्या सोचा कि London? Or was it always London, or was it like okay somewhere else, or what was it?
It was never anything. I was just like, मुझे masters करना है, and I did my undergrad in India and I did economics, and then I was just like
Same.
masters में same.
BCom?
Oh,
Did
Waco, yeah, wait, you
economics.
told me, you told me, you told me. And so I was just like, okay, next is I want to do policy and development and be in that
Yeah.
space. And then I came to London because of the London School of Economics, where I went, and I was just like, they have one of the best courses for what I want to study. I was like, let me
So
apply
you
there.
were always like okay UK ही जाना है.
No, I was like, अच्छी university जाना है. अच्छा
Doesn't matter कहीं पे भी हो.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Again, if it's somewhere else, I'll go there. If I get into a good university, which I like, and it has the course I want, I will go there. University first, location second. Because I had never been to all these abroad places at all to know what will I like, what will I not. I was like, I'll get used to wherever I go. I just want कि मैं खुश हूँ. I should be happy where I go. So yeah, London because of the university, and then I'm just here. But why did you decide London?
No, I always wanted to come.
You wanted to come to
No,
London.
but my thing was like okay, first Canada, and I was very picky. So if I'm
Oh.
going to US, it's either New York or Hollywood or California. If London, if UK, it should be only London. If I'm going Canada,
Yeah.
only Toronto.
Did you decide because of music?
Yes. And I did my masters in music only, advanced music tech.
True. You also
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
So
damn.
so my intention was always like okay, I want to learn music because I was producing. But moreover I want to learn. वो कहते हैं ना कि गाते हैं but फितूर संगीत है. So it's more like I like to create.
Yeah.
Then performing and stuff.
Yeah.
वो second आ जाता है. But
Wow.
first is like creating.
So you always knew like London was on
Yeah.
your thing to come to.
London wasn't because इससे पहले मेरा 2 बार वीजा रिजेक्ट हुआ कनाडा का.
Oh,
I was going to
wow.
Canada, and I'm
Okay.
so thankful that I didn't go to Canada.
Yeah, things work out. Things work out. 100%.
So yeah, because मेरे को medical reason भी था.
Okay.
So got my TB on my right lung. So वो
Mm.
सब हुआ. But yeah, I think जो भी हुआ अच्छा हुआ.
Yeah.
And I came to, and I think London is way better than any other country because I mean any other places because यहाँ पे demographic बहुत है. मतलब
100%.
you find everyone if you go to any event. जैसे
Yeah.
अपन लोग भी जैसे event में गए थे.
Yeah.
वहाँ पे लोग कहाँ से नहीं थे.
Yeah.
You know, someone
Yeah.
from US, someone from Australia, someone
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
you know.
So international, so diverse, so
Yeah.
diverse, and then all those perspectives and all that music just
Yeah.
in one place.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that was the thing.
That's the thing.
But yeah, let's go back to the college stuff. What was college like? Because you didn't do your masters in music, don't you?
No. I did.
So how were
policy.
you connected with music and art and writing and stuff?
Yeah, I feel like I actually have two different sides. Like I love academia, I love like policy and like writing like
Really?
papers and reading like literature. I come from a family of like academics. Like both my parents are PhDs. My sister's doing
Whoa.
her second masters. Like we're very like in the
पढ़ाकू लोग.
हाँ, I have that पढ़ाकू gene and I love it. Like I love
Yeah.
studying and doing like research and literature reviews. मुझे अपना dissertation लिखने में I had so much fun
Really?
doing my dissertation. And people hate dissertations and I get it.
God.
I loved doing my dissertation and stuff like that. I mean, it's stressful, but I could like I appreciate that stress. So uni was nice, but I didn't know music in uni at all in terms of being in uni. Like undergrad, I was like the president of the a cappella team. I was doing my compositions. I was competing in the Delhi music circuit. In LSE, none of that. But I still kept in touch with like Hindustani classical and just like listening to music. Like I
Yeah.
can't leave it. If I've done it since I was 4 years old, I've basically had music in my life since I've known who I am as a person.
Yeah.
When you're 3, you have no concept of like self and other. Like you're learning the world. At 4, you're slowly growing up. When I'm learning who my parents are or who my first friend in my life is, I have music with me.
Yeah.
I've never not had it. I don't know a life without
It's
it.
like a skin to you now.
Yeah, 100% it is.
Yeah.
So I feel like I always stayed in touch with it. And as soon as LSE was over, I was just like, I have a job, but like I need to get back in
Yeah.
Shivani space, which is music and writing. And then I promised myself when I was small, like not small, I was like going to my terrace and writing stuff. I was like, you know what? If this poetry is so inspiring to me, one day, if I have money of my own, because then I didn't know how life would be like. Obviously, I have money, but I was small then.
Yeah.
I was like, if I have money of my own, I'll publish my work. And then I got my first job. I saved up and I published my book. And I was just like, Shivani, you did it. To like
Amazing.
14-year-old Shivani, like you actually published your first book
Yeah.
when you're 24. And then growing up, I actually am wearing it right now. I got this ring for myself, and I got it engraved. Like I bought it myself, and उसपे थोड़ा सा engrave मैंने कराया था, which says I am right here, like you're always
Ah.
right here. And I was just like, so whenever I do stuff like that, I look at this ring and I was like, I made promises to myself and I kept
And you kept
them.
it.
Like for only for art, I've never made myself any other promise because nothing else is as important. But for music and for poetry, for anything that's art, that's actually Shivani, I made promises and I kept them, which I'm proud of. So I always kept music on the side, like going while I was doing uni, and then I'm just now properly doing.
Are you emotional?
So, oh God, I would not have songs and a book and feeling
Yeah.
all these feelings if I wasn't emotional. I'm riding high on my emotions.
You know, because nowadays in modern music industry, there are a lot of people who are very good at faking emotions and sort of like they don't feel what they are actually writing, but they are writing some.
Yeah, for the commerce of it and
So
making it
my question
commercial.
to you is like, is your emotion in your personal life and your personal experience played a very big role in your music, in your writing, in your book and stuff?
My book and my music is 100% my emotions. There is not one lie. Not like lie, but there is
Yeah.
nothing different from
Made up
actually
sort of.
Shivani.
Yeah.
I only write about, I don't know any other way. Maybe in the future I'm able to write songs and poems about somebody else's experience or from my imagination, which is beautiful. But like, for example, I was in a relationship about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Broke up. I'm still right now I'm working on a song.
Yeah.
I can still like dive into that experience, feel everything I felt then when the breakup happened and write about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm only emotional. Like everything is only Shivani's emotions in like
Yeah.
books or song and stuff. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the most fulfilling, creative, juicy, inspiring, nice place to be able to tell someone a story. It's like, listen, this is happening inside me, and I'm going to alchemize this and make it something which you can consume. And now you know what's happening inside me. So I have to be emotional. Some sort of emotional, understanding needs to be there for that.
Isn't it interesting? Like, for example, the kind of emotions that you are feeling, I might not feel the same emotion, but what you are writing resonate with my emotion.
Yeah.
And that creates like a chain.
Yeah.
And that's why there are a lot of people those who feel that.
Yeah.
That's the reason कि music को लोग इतना feel इसलिए भी करते हैं because
100%.
they resonate to the feeling. I mean,
Bilkul. That's why people say music is like a universal language.
Yeah.
You don't have to know what's. I'm not even giving away anything. मेरी life में क्या हुआ, breakup क्यों हुआ, किसी को कुछ नहीं पता.
Yeah.
मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Exactly.
I just have to touch you somewhere where I know. That sounds funny. I just have to make you feel something where I know you and I share the same feeling.
Yeah.
Which is of loss, of pain,
Yeah.
of longing, of letting go, of being uncertain. These are universal things. It's like I've made a 3-minute song for like one feeling of loss, which you have, which I have.
Yeah.
But when you hear that somebody else has felt it and that pain sounds like this in a song, or the pain reads like this in a poem, you feel less alone, or you feel like someone else understands. And that's the best thing.
So you were lucky, like in your masters, you were like interested in academia and all this kind of stuff. So entire masters, you didn't do that much of music and stuff.
Barely.
What is your suggestion to people those who like? I mean, obviously they are studying. They came with an idea. Okay, I need to do this masters or bachelor's or whatever. But at that time, because of the academics, is so regressive over here
100%.
that if you want to do music but still you're not able to do music or any art, what do you suggest those people do, how to cope up with that, because it's very stressful?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I feel like never pressure yourself when you're not able to do something. Life as like a young adult is so hard right now. It's not how it was even like 10 or 7 years ago. Like things are growing like this. Instagram is in your face all the time, or TikTok or wherever, with like other people's achievements and stuff. Like you can't, it can get very negative very quickly. And there will be periods in life where you can't create or you can't do what you want, whether it's like creating or like doing whatever else. But I feel like just hold on. And when you can't make something, find other people who are making that. Like when I wasn't doing music, I was finding more music or listening to it, or I went online and watched YouTube videos of my favorite people. If you are very passionate about it, or if you think it's necessary in your life, like I know music is in mine, it will always find you again, and you will always find it again. So it's never gone, it's never lost. It's just about like holding on and finding ways that you can have it around you, and then one day, like, you know how like rivers find the sea,
Yeah.
it will find you again. Rivers take all these detours, and all those detours can be your masters or relationships or other people, but you will find the sea of your creativity, and you will just always meet. It just has to happen.
Don't you think people have become more impulsive कि मतलब वो बहुत जल्दी क्विट करना सीख रहे हैं? It's more like, let's say if there is an X person. Let's take my example, for example. In my masters, I was struggling with doing my own kind of music. I was just be able to do my masters and part-time jobs and stuff like that. With me, it's like I have that wise, okay, मैं इधर आया ही हूँ just because to do music,
Yeah.
so I need to fight it.
Yeah.
But I've seen there are a lot of people, those who just quit it. They'll be like, okay, I accept this life. This is how fucked up my life is going to be, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna accept this.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Because I think because of this social media age and this, people are being very much impulsive. They're taking their decisions very, how can you say, it's like they don't think twice, or they don't trust themselves, because social media में इतना सब कुछ आ चुका है, and 90% of it's fake. People are actually showing themselves which they are
Yeah.
actually not.
Yeah.
So उसको देख के when people get attracted and
Yeah,
attached to
exactly.
it,
Yeah, yeah.
वो
They
बहुत affect
quit.
करता है, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. No, that's so true. But I feel like you never know किसके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है. Like you
Yeah.
just don't know what's going on in someone's head. So if people quit, it might not be because I don't want to say that, oh, you shouldn't quit and you should keep persevering. Like सबका एक अपना threshold होता है. Everyone
Yeah.
has that threshold. And if you feel like right now is not the time to
Mm.
be or to do what you're trying to do because it's actually more negative than positive, then I think it's okay to stop. Like ये भी नहीं होना चाहिए that you should persevere till the very end. Sometimes it's okay to stop. Sometimes it's okay to say, यार it's not happening today. It नहीं हो रहा अभी, शायद और कभी. Like I think there should be freedom to say that. Now I can't say if someone's being impulsive because someone saw one reel blowing up of someone else and then that
Yeah.
discouraged you. That like that ideally shouldn't happen. But like life is like you said, like mental health is such an important thing. There's so much happening from different angles coming towards you that sometimes if you feel like you can't take it, actually it's okay. Like you don't have to fight through everything to
Yeah.
really make it, or like your passion is the most important and if you don't go after it you're like a failure. Actually no, like people change all the time and life is complex, and the more you let that happen, the more slowly, if you're meant to be back in it again, you will. I don't think there's any reason to fight for something, fight against something. What fight for becomes a fight against.
Yeah.
Like to fight for music, I'm fighting against the whole world, and it's too much. If it's
Yeah.
too much, then maybe now is not the time, and that's okay.
Drains you, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think everyone needs to be like, yeah, being impulsive isn't the best, but I don't think you need to just like be
करना,
on,
yeah.
yeah, just like rest and recover and then try again and then rest and recover, try again. Life badi hai, but life choti bhi hai.
Yeah.
So take it easy.
जैसे जहाँ से अपन लोग आते हैं वहाँ पे ज़्यादा ये स्टेटमेंट बहुत बोला जाता है कि जो टाइम अभी है वो चले आएगा तो कभी नहीं आएगा.
Yeah.
What do you think in this kind of day and age वो applicable है?
I think that's always true. कुछ चीजें तो forever truths होती है. जो टाइम चला जाएगा वो नहीं आएगा.
No, like because you just said in the
Yeah,
previous answer कि अभी यदि नहीं हो रहा,
yeah,
so maybe give it a break.
yeah,
आगे try करेंगे.
yeah. I
So-
swear I've eaten. No, I do agree. Like time जो चला गया है वो नहीं आएगा, but that doesn't mean कि you go crazy trying to bring it back. Like time जो चला जाएगा वो नहीं आएगा, कितनी अच्छी बात है.
Yeah.
ना आए वापस, किसे वापस बुलाना है बीते हुए टाइम को. ऐसे थोड़ी जिंदगी जीता है कोई. अच्छा टाइम चला गया वापस
Yeah.
नहीं आएगा, बुरा टाइम चला गया वापस नहीं आएगा. अच्छी बात है. Like, जो जा रहा है उसे जाने दो, जो आ रहा है वो तो हमेशा आएगा.
आएगा.
So it's okay. Like I don't think people should go crazy कि shit, it's now or never.
Yeah.
There is only now. There is no never. Now,
Yeah.
now. You do it now or you do it like 10 years later. That's your now.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't put it in timelines and context because you'll grow so tired. Like timelines सिर्फ Facebook पे अच्छी लगती है, real life में. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna plug that one. That's yeah, timelines on Facebook पे अच्छी लगती है.
Yeah, it's true. Life is so vast. Essay, you shouldn't go crazy just thinking that it's now or never, especially in this industry, which is so unpredictable. It's
Yeah.
changing like this. Like, you'll go crazy just trying to make sense of it or your life. Yeah.
Change कितना important है in your life?
Yeah, important हो या ना हो, होता ही रहता है. I mean, I have to get on with it. I don't
Yeah.
think I like change too much.
Mm.
I
Why
don't
is
think
that?
most people do, because I think certainty and familiarity mein surety hai. And I, as a person, I have anxiety. I get anxious. I don't want to say I have anxiety, even though I do, but I get anxious as a person.
Yeah.
So I like being able to have familiarity in life,
Yeah.
but sometimes I crave change,
Mm.
especially in this phase of my life where there's like, I came here as an academic. I was telling my friend today, I came here as an academic and now I'm staying here as an artist.
Yeah.
And that changed in like 2.5, 3 years. And that's a
Yeah.
huge change, like
Yes.
huge. I never thought I'll be like living here for artist reasons. I always thought I'm like from an academic family, I'll get a job, I'll get like
Yeah.
a sponsor visa. And now I'm just like here as an artist. So change, sometimes I crave it, but it depends on like how ready I am. So I'd say I have like a different relationship with change based on what's happening in my life.
So it's like a बहुत thin line है नहीं, change and comfort zone के बीच में.
Yeah,
It's just like you
100%.
don't want to be in that bubble, but it's like, okay, there's change happening. उसको accept भी करना है. I know we don't like that, but you need to
Yeah,
accept it.
yeah,
Keep on changing.
exactly.
मतलब वो हो जा रहा है.
Yeah,
Sort of.
exactly. Especially in a place like London, when you're living alone and stuff, there's only change.
Yeah.
Familiarity you've left back home when you decided to come here. Like, this is all new.
Yeah.
Nothing is very familiar. But I think it's a good thing. Like, I think it's good to like grow and change and evolve. Because then you're also forced to have like what's constant close to you
Yeah.
all the time, whether it's your art or your poetry, or like whether it's like the rings I wear and stuff like that, which are like a reminder and stuff. So I think change for the most part is good, and if it's not good, you should try and find things that give you comfort.
Did your personality change after you moved to the UK?
So
I mean, after you moved to the UK and started living alone, like your own life, you're doing your own clothes, cooking
yeah,
and everything.
yeah,
Back home, you got mom.
yeah,
Mom's
100%.
doing everything for us.
You just have to become an adult overnight.
Yeah.
And just figure out everything from like sabzi khareed ke aani hai and washing your clothes to like accommodation and actually keeping yourself like safe properly and like understanding a whole new city and transport system and new friends, and basically your life obviously
Yeah.
changes. But yeah, I definitely think my personality changed, but it's all, I'm very different at who I am right now at 26 than who I was at 23 when I
Yeah.
came to London. That's bound to happen. But that's also like growing up. Like maybe if I was back in Delhi, I would still change, but I'd change in a different way. And here it's just so much quicker and it's such
Yeah.
a different direction.
Over here, I think it's like you're forced to. I mean, कोई chance ही नहीं है ना.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're forced to do it.
Exactly.
मन नहीं हो रहा उठने का, पर उठना पड़ेगा. You need to pay the bills.
100%. Exactly. It's a lot sometimes, but I mean, I've chosen this life, so
Yeah.
for a reason, I think. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you feel about just adulting and leaving home and being here?
मैंने ये अपने पिछले पॉडकास्ट में भी ये बोला, बिकॉज मेरे को टाइम का ही पता नहीं चला. इट्स जस्ट लाइक आई वाज नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग, बिकॉज मेरे 2 वीजा रिजेक्ट हुए थे. So I was not sure that I'm going to get this one. So I think 9th of Jan 2023 I got my visa, and 25th of Jan I left. So I didn't had the time to actually register. It was just going, okay, shopping, this, that, okay, buy that, buy this, buy that, meeting families, meeting friends, everything.
Yeah.
I was gone.
Out. Yeah.
First night couldn't sleep. I was like,
Of
what?
course, yeah.
There's no mom, कोई नहीं बनाएगा, कोई खाना बनाने को नहीं है.
Yeah.
And I've never traveled before.
So very new.
Yeah.
Without, yeah.
So it was, इसीलिए मैंने वो चीज बोला कि you're put in a position कि करना ही पड़ेगा. There's no going back.
Yeah, exactly.
Your back is against the wall, sort of.
Exactly.
Forward.
Exactly. But I think we all come here with the reason. Like,
Yeah.
we applied for that visa. We applied
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be here.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, for a reason.
What's next?
What's next? Oh God.
That's a very big sort of question. बहुत spectrum है. You can go anywhere.
What's next?
Are you writing a book again?
I am always writing, and maybe one day that writing will be a book. So I
Yeah.
want to say yes, I'm writing a book because I'm writing pieces which I plan to publish and release. So book is in the works. New music release coming up in Feb/March.
Wow.
Um, yes, keep an eye out. I will plug at some point when I know when it's coming.
Yeah.
But new music coming, launching my website with like loads of like my work, but also like opportunities for like courses and learning because I do teach.
Yeah.
Um, and like personalized like poetry pieces and like merch and stuff like that, which I'm so excited
Dude,
about.
you're like so many things. You teach, you're a writer, you're a musician, you like academia, बच्चों को भी पढ़ा सकती है. What
Like
is this? Like the whole package?
there's so much more to add to a packet. I'm just doing what I like. Like that's just it. Tomorrow, if what I like is making films, which I'm also interested in, by the way, then maybe 2 years later you'll find me making films. Like I just want to do what I like. That's it. And I like many things.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now it's book and poetry, launching website, upcoming release, and doing like a lot of behind the scenes artwork for that right now.
Yeah.
And what's next? Just yeah, just more art. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
How's the process? थोड़ा process बताओ, like when you write any piece. Because I've seen some of my friends, they are also writers, so they create like a rough draft, then they work on that draft, then they, I don't know, they send it for peer review, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
proofreading or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And then how hard and or how easy it was for you to get the publication, and what was the process like? Explain everything.
So I self-published, which is why I saved up because I didn't know if I was going to be in the UK long term.
Mm,
And sending a manuscript to a publisher and waiting them to give care about
yeah.
your email in their inbox, see it, read
Yeah.
it, like it, get back to you, and then start the publishing process and end it can take years. I didn't know if I
Mm,
had that kind of time, so I saved up and I self-published. I still had to send my manuscript to a publishing place and vibe with them and see if they like it, and they're good poetry publishers and stuff, so you have to do that background research, talk to the publishing house, see if you both like each other, and then
mm,
you begin the publishing process. I had an editor there, but honestly I edited most of my work because
yeah.
I know what I want, and they edited it a certain way, but it took away the feeling because poetry
Mm,
sometimes it's 4 lines. You can't
mm,
edit it. I only have 4 lines, so I edited most of my work. I still edit most of my work. um and I didn't want to think too much about it because it was more like my work for myself, because that's
mm,
how I wrote my poems as well. वो सिर्फ मेरे लिए थी. So even the book was actually just for me.
yeah.
Like I know I sell it and it's like on Amazon and stuff, but it's just for me. So I didn't want it to sound pretty for someone else. I was like, do I like it?
Yeah.
Does this actually convey what happened and what I felt? Yes. That's no other editing needed. Even now I edit whenever I post on Instagram and TikTok. I edit like this much because it's like जो आया वो निकला, and then maybe I can make it sound pretty by like 10 or 20 more percent. But then that's just it. If someone likes it, they like it. If someone doesn't, they don't. But I have to be like authentic and like it. So that's the writing
It's very
process.
interesting because the same process is with me with my music.
Yeah,
It's just like I produce my music in a sense कि मुझे मजा आना चाहिए,
exactly.
कि दूसरों का आया नहीं है, वो आएगा ही
That,
obviously, but
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like मुझको रोमटे खड़े होने चाहिए until then
exactly. You are your
I'm
first
doing,
audience.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
But there are
exactly.
some people those who do it like in a commercial way. It's
Mm,
like they want to put it out for a certain set of audience.
mm,
So जो next जो भी writing जो भी project आ रहा है,
mm,
are you planning for it to be in a commercial way for some set audience, and you are
mm.
looking for, okay, this time I might go and look up for any kind of publishing
Yeah,
companies or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's a tricky balance. I feel like writing, I've started writing for an audience. वो हो जाता है when you like publish on like
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok and people relate to certain things and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's how they're feeling, that's the audience. And that comes into your writing even if you
Yeah.
don't know. Music, I don't think right now, because my next release is less sort of commercial than my first release. Like my
Mm.
first release was easy, like it was on BBC, everything. It was nicely packaged and it could be, commercial. My next release is crazy when it comes out. It has like proper Hindustani classical, like
Yeah.
akars and vocals with like other like tabla sounds, but it's like Western pop, and then there's chidiya ki awaaz aa rahi hai piche se. Like it's everything, and it's about like sad feelings and stuff. So I don't actually even know if it's commercial, but I have to like it and
Mm.
I like it. And you know, if I make it for someone else and they don't like it and I don't like it, then no one in the world likes my song.
Exactly.
That's so sad. If I make it, I 100% like
Need
it.
to like it.
And then whoever likes it is fine. But at least when I put my earphones in, like you said, mere room te to khade hue.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Yeah.
I can sleep at night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if the music is commercial, but it's authentic.
Are you one of those kind of artists who's like that you are? I mean, obviously, no one is ever satisfied with their stuff. But are you one of those is like, okay, I've done this. This is the final piece. You go to sleep. You wake up. Can I change something on this? Are you like that?
I am like that, but I'm also very much not like that. Like I'm very like spiritual when it comes to art. Like when I wrote my first song,
Yeah.
like main lik diya, and then a lot of people ask me, when do you know a piece is over?
Yeah.
Because you can keep writing it till
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
end of time. But I was just like, andar se ek awaaz aati hai, and I'm gonna be very like spiritual about it. And I'm gonna sound crazy, but when you know, and when you don't know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like for me in my head, maybe I did sound a little too relaxed, but the stakes aren't that high. It doesn't have to be a Grammy piece. If it is, it's nice. And I'm not saying no to a Grammy. Someone wants to give me a Grammy, give me a Grammy.
Give her a Grammy.
Give me a Grammy. But if it's a Grammy piece, it's great. But it's like it's like you're taking care of a baby.
Yeah.
You gave the baby a bath and you put its clothes on. Now you can be like, oh, the baby doesn't look good in this clothes, put another top.
Yeah.
No, I didn't wash the baby's head properly. Let me go. Baby will get irritated.
कितना change करोगे?
I know.
बंद करो.
हर आर्ट पीस की अपनी एक लाइफ है.
Yeah.
और जब तुम्हें उससे आवाज आती है खत्म, keep your pen down.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. Shut your music system. हो
Yeah.
गया. And if it's not the one, then the next piece will be. Like it's okay. Like I'm not too picky. कि shit ये खत्म नहीं. It's not over. It's not over. It's over. It is
Yeah.
what it is. It has its own life. I have to respect it. It has to respect me.
Yeah.
After a point, I can keep disrespecting it. You're not done now. You're not done now. And if it's not the piece, then the next piece will be the piece. It's okay.
Do you go back to your own stuff, like publish? Let's say talk about book publish ho gayi. Do you go and read it?
Oh, so much.
Really?
My whole artistic practice is just a conversation from Shivani in time to Shivani in time. I don't care about, I'm going to sound so weird, but like if it helps someone else,
Yeah.
swear to God, if it helps someone else, it's great. And I want
Yeah.
to communicate and feel things. But the stuff I wrote when I was 17, how I got that wisdom, no, I'm not even, I swear I'm going to sound crazy. But now at 26, I go through like hard times and I pick up my book because I know there's advice in there that is meant only for me, from me. And it works like this. I'm like, shit, I knew what's up then.
Yeah.
This piece that I wrote like 6 years ago is exactly applicable now. It works.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
it's from me to me. Like I have so much love. You know how people go like, if you could go back to the past, what advice would you give yourself? And people go like, I would say, do this, do this, do this. I just want to say thank you. Like, my God, thank you for the life
Yeah.
that you built. Thank you for the things you went through. Thank you
Yeah.
that you never stopped writing. Thank you that you have messages for me even
Yeah.
now from decades ago, because you knew what was happening. Thank you for being authentic. Like, of course, I look at my poetry. Like, I have it next to my bed, and sometimes when I need like spiritual advice or I need advice, I pick it up and it helps.
Yeah.
And somebody told me, you know what happens when you release your song, right? You can never listen to it again.
Stop.
I was at the gym the other day, on repeat, all I heard,
Is your song?
Yeah, my song. And maybe I sound crazy, but it's not. It's so beautiful because I had to make something that I want to listen to again and again. It's like my soul is happy listening to my soul, and I'm just there letting that happen. Like, that's how it is. So of course I go back to my work.
That's so sweet, because with me is like, I don't know, if let's say if I finish one project today, then I might think about, okay, what next, how to release it, how to market it and stuff like that. When that's done, I don't go back to it. It's more like I need next, yeah, which is fair. Yeah, it's too like it's different for everyone. Like, you want to make the next thing, you have that excitement and the joy for the next thing. That's equally fair. And another thing is more like, it's been a while that I have created any kind of project which sort of like, because majority of the project which I do now is to market, is to put it out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason I just don't go back to it, because I may find some flaw or something like that.
I get that. That's actually true, because you know what? When I first made my first song, I didn't want to listen to it. When my flatmate would play it, I would start talking over it really loudly, like,
Yeah.
no, 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 I don't want to hear it. Because exactly what you said, I
Yeah.
am scared of finding fault
Yeah.
because I am a little bit of like, that could be a little more
Because
perfect.
now it's already out. It's on Spotify, Amazon,
100%.
everywhere.
That is so true. I think that period does come. You are very
Yeah.
right. It's like when you overcome that period,
Yeah.
then you're like fine, and then you have a friendship or you're developing a relationship with your work.
Yeah.
But there's definitely that period where you're like, ah, shit, maybe that little beat or no, that little run I did could have
Yeah.
been better. But yeah, I think it's more like, it's fine. Just being a little zen, being like, it's okay, it's okay. But yeah, that I agree with that. I completely agree with that.
Is art meditative to you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It has to be. Otherwise, like, that's my primary relationship with it. It's very spiritual, it's very meditative. And then it's like, then the second thing it is like aesthetic. Like, I love beauty and aesthetics because you learn that in Indian classical as well. Like, when you do a run,
Yeah.
when you do a raga, you have to present the nature, personality, or aesthetics of a raga very
Yeah.
differently to each raga. So first is that it's spiritual, meditative, and then I like beauty and like grace and aesthetics second. So I think those two things are important.
So this meditative spiritual zone, and then there's one fun, go crazy party, this kind of zone.
Yeah.
What मतलब एक यदि तराजू में उसको रखा जाए,
हाँ.
which one is up, which one is down?
Depends
In
on
your
the
in your
piece.
life.
In my life, I think abhi and for a long time, tarazu is more like meditation, spiritual up,
Spiritual.
and fun bhi mujhe wahin se aata hai.
Okay.
Like, oh, like
You
I
enjoy
made
that
it.
also.
Yeah, I enjoy it so much. I was with my producer. I was working on my second single, and then there was a part where I did like a nice aakar, and piche we put like a tanpura on loop.
Yeah.
Now I was banging my head, and he was banging his head, and he was like, "Whoa, like that hits." But for fun isliye aaya because for me, like that tanpura is such like a spiritual, calm instrument.
Yeah.
Meri relationship is so beautiful with the tanpura and the sitar. That jab wo aaya, and then we put it to a beat, like
Yeah.
that brought the fun. But to start with, it's like
It's
the calm zen thing
yeah.
that I love, and then when I can repackage it for other people to have fun with, like that's where I also have fun.
Are you can you share the name or the title of the song?
Oh shit, should I do it now? Maybe. Actually, you know what? Stay tuned because I have not done any kind of
Yeah.
promo for it. So I feel like the title's coming, and the title says a lot about the song. It's like a slightly longer title, and it basically is about the whole song and gives away a bit of the relationship. So yeah, no, stay tuned.
What about the where is going to be? Is it going to be in all the platforms?
All
everything?
platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everything else. Sorry, I don't know the names of other platforms, but it's basically going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I think end Feb, early March. But link in bio for everything when it comes.
What about the book?
The book is much sort of further ahead, I think, because it's so
much
many
work to
pieces
do.
of work to actually get a manuscript. But I started writing online as like not a blog, but it's basically an offshoot of my website on Substack, which I can definitely share a link to, where I write musings or my long or short essays on spirituality, creativity, and poetry. So everything that I'm feeling that's inspiring the books I write or the songs I make, I write essays on them, or I write how I felt as an artist about something. So that I'm very excited. It's basically everything that's going to be in my book already online, that people can find on my Substack, which also will be plugged. Oh my god, that's like so much to plug. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, I need to send you the
Yeah,
everything.
like
When I'm
everything.
editing this, I'm gonna be okay. This, write it down. This, write it down. Send it to you.
Actually, I need to make a list. But yeah.
How are you so calm like this? Is it because the kind of music that you've been doing since your childhood? It is actually sort of like a spiritual calming kind of
Do I
music.
sound calm?
Yeah.
I sound calm.
Yeah.
I think I sound so excited and jumpy. Oh, if I sound calm, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've always been a calm person since I was tiny. I think my nature has just been very like, just Hindi mein kehte hain, sushil. Like,
सुशील कन्या है ये.
yeah, sushi. No, actually, like it's actually true. I think even at home, weirdly, like this is like very big segue, but I remember when my granddad had passed away. I was small. I was like 6 or 7 years old, and my grandmom was sitting. And
Yeah.
I think 2 or 3 months into his passing, the family was still like going through the death
Yeah.
and feeding like feelings and recovering and stuff. And I don't know what I said. And now my grandmom has also passed away, so I don't know.
Mm.
But I said something to my grandmom that she looked at me and she's like, "What did you just say?" And then she went and told my mom and my dad and the whole family, being like, "Why is she talking like an old person right now? Like, where,
Like a mature.
yeah, like, what is she saying in this very like calm tone? Like, who, like, what?" And then my mom has forgotten what I said. My grandmom would remember, but I can't ask her. But
Yeah.
I feel like I've just got, and I don't know what I said, but I feel like I've just kind of been this way since I was young.
Is it because of music?
I would not rule it out at all. I would definitely say if I've been doing something like Hindustani classical since I was
Since
4,
four, yeah.
100%. Like, if, yeah, why not? Actually,
And I
why not?
believe it's the genre also because classical music is a lot like, it's not just music. You
Mm.
can't say classical
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
music is just music.
Yeah,
It is a whole spectrum of meditation. You do a lot of things with it. You do
exactly.
some prayers. You involve Saraswati ji, and
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. Classic music also, it's not like right now if I sing like this is like technical, but if I sing, for example, Raag Bhairav or Raag Yaman,
yeah,
Raag Yaman is sung during the evening hours, Raag
mm,
Bhairav is sung during the morning hours, because they both do something to your body.
yeah,
They related to the rise and fall of the sun, the rise and fall of the moon.
mm,
Tansen used to sing, who's like a famous sort of sage almost
yeah,
singer, used to sing and he used to make it rain. Like,
mm,
surely it's not just music, you are connecting to the element and the very fabric of life.
yeah,
Like, you're making it rain, you're making it shine. You sing a rag in the evening because it evokes certain feelings. You
yeah,
sing something in the morning. Like, it's a way to like be the world and connect with the world. It's not just like I sang Saregamapa and I went home. I actually thought that when I was 4 because I didn't know this, but now that I know,
yeah,
it's like a whole other language you're speaking, like with other people and with the elements and with the world. It's very, very
yeah,
sacred.
mm.
And which is why I like Saraswati as well, and like the goddess of wisdom and creativity. Like, yeah, I was actually, dude, where do I get a Saraswati Murti? I actually want to buy one in London, but I don't know where to get it. Like, I want to get like an idol of Saraswati.
Proper.
Yeah, and put her in my room.
I don't know. It's gonna be, maybe you need to, get it
Get
exported
it.
from.
Oh, I'm not the chiching to get it exported.
Chichi.
No, maybe I'll find maybe this.
Maybe just print out a picture of it, like a good poster.
I like the Moti because I have a Buddha thing also, and next to Buddha I want to put the Saraswati. Maybe South Hall actually. They should have a,
Saraswati.
yeah, shop.
The Veena with her.
Yeah, so
So
beautiful.
beautiful.
So beautiful.
Do you believe in this phrase, like the universe hear everything?
Yeah. And do you?
Um, now I think I do, because we say, like, even with food also, the kind of food you eat, it affects you.
Mm.
If it's a good food, it's fresh food,
Mm.
it makes you feel a bit different.
Yeah.
But if it's a food, let's say in London, majority of the people, they are cooking once and they are eating for 4 days.
Fact.
So it's like when you eat like food which is like cooked 3 days back,
Yeah, yeah,
it makes you feel a bit different.
100%.
And I'm not just talking about physically; it's just over here also.
100%. 100%.
So now I started to feel like that. Previously, I was like, whatever.
So it's when you moved here and things
Mm-mm.
changed, and you think,
A lot of change over here,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you start to talk to yourself. You
yeah.
start to sometimes scold yourself, like, okay,
Mm.
not a loser right now. Get it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Get in front of the mirror. Okay, do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So you think now the universe listens and
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's more like because in our culture, because that's the major shift in with us, is like our background is so our culture is so vast. Like we say ki, and I've said it in my previous podcast also, ki दिन में एक बार सरस्वती जी जबान पे बैठती है,
हाँ,
so you
जमीन
need
पे
to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. No one believes when I say this. है ना? She
yeah,
sits. Yeah. I mean, I don't
and
know. She actually said, but basically, shub shub bolo, shub shub bolo.
अच्छा बोलो.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but how can I say it? Do you feel that you have that sense in you now because of the spirituality and the culture that we come from, कि कोई एक कमरे में जाओ जहाँ पे multiple लोग हैं, and you just sense the vibe over there, कि okay, यहाँ की vibe is a bit negative, I might
100%.
not stay for a while.
100%. 100%. I feel like also usually artists are very perceptive. This is actually, I shouldn't say this because this is generalizing, but most artists I have met are very perceptive. And when you're also an empath and you feel
Yeah.
other people's feelings, growing up also, like, given the regular Indian household, which is so
Yeah.
loud, like some people like become, if you're not that loud, you're like the other end of the spectrum where you're
Yeah.
like calmer and you're an empath and you can
Mm.
absorb and sense people's
Mm.
energies. So you grow up and you live with that, and then obviously it helps in many situations because if you have an important meeting,
Yeah.
in that meeting you've gone in and you know immediately like the vibes and stuff. But
Yeah.
that also means if you're in a space and it's not your space,
Mm.
then yeah, I think I want to say I can tell very quickly what the vibes are.
Mm.
Can you tell?
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes, because of this kind of career, it's like sometimes you reject that that sense, or you fight that
Yeah.
in
Oh yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. True, true,
That
true, true,
okay,
true.
you feel like, okay, let me register that, and sort of be
Fight
in that
through. Yeah,
position.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I can network with someone.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, the networking is what gets to you because I feel like you have to be nice to everyone,
Yeah.
but your energy is telling you not this person.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that happens. Interesting. What about the I mean, there are things which artists say, like, okay, I want to make music, I want to make difference in people and stuff, with my music.
Mm-hmm.
What is, in, like, let's say 10 years,
Oh.
what do you see, the kind of magnitude your music is making changes on people? What's the dream like after, let's say,
Oh.
5-10 years?
The dream is to connect to everyone in the world. I
Yeah.
don't know if that means I like tour group. Like that would be great if I'm touring the world and stuff.
Mm.
Um, but I definitely want my music to have reached like all different corners of the world.
Mm.
For me to like be very solid on my niche. Like right now, I'm trying to blend Indian and Western, but even my sound isn't as refined as I would want it to be. So 10 years definitely have my sound down.
Yeah.
I want to collaborate with certain people which, and I don't want like big
Big names.
short
Yeah.
artists that I love and adore.
Yeah.
Hopefully half or more of that should have happened. Um One artist I want to collaborate with so bad is wait, no, you know what? Nah, nah, nah,
you're
nah, nah,
not you're
nah.
not saying the
Yeah,
names.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that having happened, my music reaching like all across the world, and just more, I want to be like an artist and a poet. Like I feel like I want both my stuff because you know people when they start getting good at one just become that full time. Like I actually want to be a multidisciplinary artist at like a higher level as well. I don't want it to be that if my music takes off, I let go of poetry. Like I actually want to be a musician poet. Like I want to be known as that, and I want to perform like a song, and then I whip out like my book and I read a few pieces of my poetry to Hindustani classical, and then I do Western again. Like I really want to change like when you go to a concert what you can expect. Like, and I also want like all these concerts like O2 Stadium,
Yeah.
I want like a chadar and carpet when I'm sitting down doing
Yeah.
Hindustani classical with Tanpura, and people, I know people do that at
Yeah.
Darbar and all of that,
Yeah.
but number one, I think Darbar is very like elite right now, at least like very like creamy layer. um and it's good, but I feel like it needs to be more common.
Yeah.
Like Hindustani classical just needs to be, more people need to know about it. Like that is definitely the mission.
Yeah.
Because you can do Hindustani classical to EDM, you can do Hindustani classical to Western pop, you can do
Yeah.
Hindustani classical to like ambient soul. There's nothing you can't do a little alap with that will sound bad. It will
Yeah.
just make it 10 times better. And I'm not saying this because I learned it, actually, like, do believe it. So I feel like 10 years time, like Hindustani classical is sort of more well known in the world, hopefully, and that happens through like collaborations with
Yeah.
crazy nice artists. So that's the dream.
That's the exciting part, isn't it?
That's exciting.
What about the fame? How are you gonna manage yourself, your personal life with fame? Because I
Bruv,
ask
you're
almost everything.
saying this. Who knows a fame is coming? What do you mean? What about the fame?
No, it's like, I wish that kind of mega fame come to you, but how you gonna manage your personal life? Because what happens is, we've seen there are so many examples. Big famous people, they be in a situation, and then they sort of deteriorates their personal life,
Yeah, yeah,
their
yeah,
mental health,
yeah,
their family,
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
Is there any plan for you, like, okay, now I'm wise, mature, I'm doing my music, and I've got a plan that I'm gonna do this. But to keep myself sane and keep myself in a certain track that my mind is also fine.
Yeah.
Do you got any plans like, okay,
Yeah.
this is sort of what I want to do,
Hmm.
so that I keep myself safe as well as my family safe? Because what happens is when you're out there touring and stuff, you are putting yourself forward, but when you keep yourself forward all the times,
Yeah, I get you.
you sort of like leave everything behind.
Yes.
And with everything comes family, it comes yourself.
Yeah. That's a very good question. Actually, I've thought about this. I don't know if fame is coming, so let's just say that first. But if fame comes, there's a book I'm reading right now, just where the author wrote. I don't know any. She's talking about a writer, but I think this can be for any famous person. She said that I don't know about any writer who does not want oblivion and applause in equal measure. Like, you want no one to know your name just so you can make your art, and you want everyone to know your name and applaud for you.
Yeah.
Like, the, you want both.
Yeah.
Like, I actually just want to be Shivani on my rooftop again in
Yeah.
India. No one knows my name, no one knows nothing, and I'm just making art, and people somewhere in the world are like enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like, no fame. But I also want like a face to the things that I'm making, and I also want to be there and actually receive the joy, or like receive,
Yeah.
like 100% I do. So I feel like I don't have a plan, but I know I want both. So I don't
Yeah.
feel like it'll ever be a point where mera tarazu goes like this and I'm like fame,
Yeah.
because I very deeply need the exact opposite as well, which is
Yeah.
need to go away on a mountain in the Himalayas and cut
Because
off.
the reason I ask you this, and I ask all my musician friends at the end of the podcast, is because we are looking at so many problems these mega stars are going through.
Yeah,
Justin
in the
Bieber,
limelight.
Kanye West,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we are talking about these mega stars. I mean, they have everything.
Yeah.
Like that, they can get everything, but still,
Yeah.
like, this is not right just because
Yeah.
of the fame.
Yeah.
So what I feel, and I encourage all my friends and people I meet, create some kind of plan to, because it is important at the end of the day. It's the family who's going to be till the end.
Yeah, 100%.
It's yourself, your mind is going to be need to be like sort
Yeah.
of sane.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's fair advice. Honestly, I haven't even thought that far,
Yeah.
because you take it one day at a time. But yeah, if I feel like it's heading in that direction, then yeah, 100%. Like, you're exactly.
Nowadays fame is very easy actually. If
Yeah.
one song go pop,
Yeah.
you're a mega star next day.
Yeah, that's also
If
true.
your song or if your book go viral tonight,
Yeah.
tomorrow morning you're going to be in every TV, everywhere in the world.
Yeah. No, that's actually true. That's actually. I
Yeah.
think most people just wish for that, and they don't think about what's going to happen after,
Exactly.
because you just wait for that like crazy moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right, and that's fair advice, and I will take it.
Yeah.
I will take it to plan for the future.
Yeah, because one thing I've seen, I don't know what was that documentary. It was an interview. So Akon, Akon, right? So he was doing a song, Smack That, with Eminem, right? Eminem does his music like 9 to 5. So he come 9 a.m. and he goes back 5 p.m. The moment is 5 p.m. Even if it's his verse is done or not,
Yeah.
he's off.
Good. That's actually really healthy. That's healthy.
It's just like he has created a corporate sort of
Yeah.
like a culture to his own
Yeah.
in music career.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
quite
he can
great.
give time to his family and stuff. Obviously, that's not doable for us young artists. We can't do that because that's Eminem.
Yeah, that's Eminem.
You know.
But yeah, I mean, that's something you can aspire to. 9 to
Yeah.
5 is your job, and 5 to the rest of next day 9
I mean, you can get inspired by, okay, at least twice a week or something. You give specific amount of time to your family, to
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
to just chill.
100%. 100. Just chill. No one even just chills. Just chill is
Exactly.
like you and phone. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't even done like just chill, only just sitting and
Yeah.
just like not either seeing someone else's Instagram and what like
Yeah.
work they're up to or what work I should be doing. So yeah, that's fair. Just to unplug.
It's important, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So this is the end of the podcast.
I had so much fun.
Tell about your socials and everything.
My
Where they can
socials.
find.
We will plug them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll plug it, but tell them.
Plugging the socials, but Instagram Shivani Sen Music.
Yeah.
Is that my email? Is that my Instagram?
Yeah.
Shivani Sen Music. TikTok Shivani Sen. Will also plug Substack Please subscribe. There's newsletters about all the behind the scenes, next gigs that are coming up, my future releases, behind the scenes poetry and stuff, photo shoots, whatever for my album. Fun. And also essays on like creativity if you want. So definitely Substack,
Yeah.
which we plug, which is just Shivani Sen. And then yeah, I think that's
YouTube.
about it. YouTube, actually, I don't have one yet.
The next song should be a video.
Yeah.
I would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
video.
Do a video.
Yeah, maybe my filming dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Start it.
Yeah, fair. Okay. YouTube coming soon. Yeah.
All right. It was amazing speaking to you, and that's how it is, man. Epic from the scratch is about we talk, we tell you, we communicate, and then we create something from the scratch. Peace.